It is now being reported that David may officially be a suspect in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Singer David is now considered a suspect in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Sources telling us that David is now considered a suspect in the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas.
David is viewed as a suspect in this case.
After months of denying it, the LAPD has finally admitted what everyone has been saying from day one. These are the 5 latest updates in the David case that show we might be seeing an arrest very soon.
Alright guys, so according to sources with direct contact with LAPD, we are learning that David is now being viewed as a suspect in Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death. We're also learning, allegedly, that not only is he being viewed as a suspect, but they're also classifying her death as a homicide, despite the medical examiner not being able to find a COD or MOD at this moment.
The first update is massive because investigators have finally shifted their stance and are officially viewing David as a suspect. This moment feels surreal because the internet has suspected him for months, while officials have avoided using that word. Now the investigation has entered a new phase where he is no longer just connected to the case. He is officially being examined as someone who might have played a direct role in this situation. This sudden shift is shocking because investigators spent weeks repeating that there was not enough evidence to label him a suspect. They insisted the case was stalled while they waited for confirmation from the medical examiner. Now, without toxicology results or a full report, investigators still decided to elevate his status. That alone tells people something significant must have happened behind the scenes. Private investigator Steve Fisher said that the FBI might be involved. People online feel like this moment validates every suspicion, rumor, and coincidence uncovered earlier. For months, viewers questioned how the person connected to the vehicle could remain outside the suspect category. The fact that investigators finally made this move suggests they have uncovered information too serious to ignore. This shift also intensifies the pressure on David, who is now under a spotlight he cannot escape. Every detail about his movements and behavior suddenly carries a heavier meaning. This update also signals that investigators are treating the case with more urgency and seriousness. Labeling someone a suspect in a homicide investigation is not a casual decision or procedural formality. It means investigators believe there is enough evidence or concern to justify deeper scrutiny. Which takes us to the second update. The second update is huge because investigators are now officially treating this case as a homicide. This shift destroys the earlier overdose narrative that everyone kept hearing for weeks. For the longest time, the investigation stalled because officials repeatedly said they needed the medical examiner's findings. They insisted they could not determine the manner or cause of death until toxicology was completed. However, reports claim investigators still do not have the toxicology results, which makes this shift even more shocking. What they do have, according to sources, is enough preliminary information to believe something criminal happened. This change means investigators saw indicators suggesting Celeste's death was not accidental, simple, or medically explainable. They are now convinced something more intentional took place, even without full medical confirmation. This shift also suggests they no longer believe overdose aligns with the evidence available. This update completely reshapes the tone of the investigation, pushing it into darker territory. Treating the case as homicide changes how officers examine timelines, evidence, and people connected to the situation. They will now search for intent, involvement, and potential coordination instead of focusing on accidental possibilities. This shift also increases pressure on David, who is already being viewed as a suspect. When homicide becomes the classification, every detail surrounding him gains heavier meaning. People online are stunned because this new classification feels long overdue. Many questioned why a body found in someone else's trunk was not treated as homicide earlier. Now that investigators are moving in this direction, viewers expect rapid developments and deeper investigations soon.
No arrest has been made, but we're told David is not cooperating.
The third update has shocked everyone because reports now claim David is not cooperating with investigators. This choice raises serious questions, especially now that he is being viewed as a homicide suspect. Cooperation is usually expected when someone wants to clear their name during a serious investigation. Instead, reports say he declined follow-up questioning and refused further communication with police. This silence is creating enormous speculation about why he is avoiding investigators right now. Many viewers interpret his refusal as suspicious, because silence rarely looks good during homicide investigations. Even though he has every legal right to remain quiet, the timing makes it appear concerning. People are asking why someone would stay silent when investigators are urgently trying to fill major timeline gaps. His refusal slows the investigation dramatically. especially at a moment when progress is finally happening. This change adds tension because investigators need answers only he can clarify. Everyone is bracing for more developments because silence rarely ends a homicide investigation. It usually accelerates it.
According to one of these sources, in the spring of 2025, David had taken a trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County, and he remained there for several hours. It's not specified why exactly this specific trip in the middle of the night is on law enforcement's radar. Obviously, he didn't dispose of Celeste anywhere, but is it believed that maybe he did something to her there?
TMZ reports that investigators are looking into a mysterious trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the spring of 2025 in the middle of the night and remained there for several hours.
But we do know that investigators are looking very closely at that journey to Santa Barbara County and they believe that it is very key to whatever ended up happening to Celeste.
The fourth update is easily the darkest and most chilling twist in this entire investigation so far. Reports now claim that tracking data allegedly places Burke in a remote and deserted area during the key timeline. This revelation has sent the internet into complete chaos because the location described is extremely isolated and unusually suspicious. According to reputable outlets, investigators consider this discovery highly important and potentially connected to the homicide direction. The idea of him allegedly traveling to a deserted location has completely changed how people view this case. Sources claim the tracking data links his movements to a quiet stretch of Santa Barbara County. This area is described as empty, unpopulated, and far from anything resembling normal activity. People online immediately questioned why anyone would allegedly drive into that environment during such a sensitive period. The timing makes this detail even more disturbing because it allegedly aligns with the window when Celeste disappeared. Investigators reportedly believe this moment could explain earlier timeline inconsistencies that confused everyone watching the case. The shift toward homicide makes this location detail even more intense. For weeks, people heard endless talk about overdose theories and accidental explanations. Now investigators are treating this alleged discovery like a major puzzle piece, suggesting something darker. Reports claim this tracking information might be one of the reasons investigators completely abandoned the overdose narrative. The remote location allegedly looks intentional rather than spontaneous, and that implication is extremely significant. Investigators reportedly believe this detail holds real weight in reconstructing the missing timeline. Another shocking layer is how investigators reportedly obtained this information. Some sources believe it came from the vehicle, while others suggest it may involve device data. Both possibilities feel sinister because each implies a strong digital footprint placing him there. This discovery appears to contradict earlier assumptions about his movements, forcing investigators to rethink everything previously believed. It also aligns with their new stance that others may have been involved at different stages. A remote area like this raises questions about whether someone else might have been present. This update is now considered one of the most important developments so far. It strengthens the homicide angle, increases pressure on David as a suspect, and widens the investigation significantly. Reports claim investigators believe this tracking discovery could help explain earlier uncertainties surrounding the timeline. People online think this might be the twist that finally pushes the case toward the next major breakthrough. The tension surrounding this update is heavy, and everyone is waiting for investigators to reveal what comes next.
Homicide. Plus, new reports are surfacing that the singer may have had help disposing of her body.
Another thing that we are told is that they know now, based on the manner in which Celeste's body was dismembered, that investigators believe it is very likely that whoever did that to her had help.
The fourth update is raising massive concern because investigators now believe more than one person may have been involved. This shift is shocking because earlier the entire narrative focused almost entirely on David alone. Now investigators reportedly think the situation might be bigger, deeper, and far more coordinated than originally assumed. This possibility introduces a darker tone because multiple people create a more complicated and unsettling storyline. Viewers everywhere are stunned because this angle immediately changes the shape of the entire investigation.
Well, Kara, investigators tell us that they are focusing in now and tightening in on certain individuals involved, and that nobody in the group around David is being excluded as a suspect. I had one investigator telling me that it is a fact that there are certain people in the group around him who were involved who are getting concerned now as the LAPD is getting closer. So
investigators allegedly reached this conclusion after noticing several details that no longer fit a single-person scenario. Certain parts of the timeline never made sense earlier, especially moments that seemed impossible for just one individual. Reports claim that investigators now believe the movements, communication patterns, and evidence may point towards shared involvement. This update suggests the case may involve cooperation, assistance, or hidden activity involving others besides David. That implication is extremely heavy and adds an entirely new layer of suspicion. People online are reacting strongly because earlier rumors hinted that more individuals might know something. Those rumors were dismissed as exaggerated theories until investigators themselves began examining that angle seriously. Suddenly, conversations about accomplices, coordinated actions, or shared responsibility are resurfacing everywhere. The idea of multiple individuals allegedly connected to the situation makes the case feel significantly more sinister. Many viewers believe investigators are preparing for a broader inquiry into people surrounding the timeline. This angle also helps explain why the investigation felt so scattered earlier. Several inconsistencies in the timeline made people question how everything happened without assistance. Now, investigators reportedly believe that those inconsistencies might reflect separate actions taken by different individuals. This interpretation gives a new explanation for missing details, sudden gaps, and unexplained movements. It suggests investigators are piecing together a more complicated map of events involving multiple participants. Reports claim investigators are now widening their focus to include people close to both David and Celeste. They may re-examine communication logs, shared locations, and overlapping connections previously considered irrelevant. This shift means the case is entering a more aggressive phase where investigators will scrutinize everyone involved. People online believe this update signals more interviews, warrants, or sudden developments soon. The investigation is clearly expanding into territory nobody expected a few weeks ago. This update also increases pressure on individuals who interacted with either side during crucial timelines. Investigators reportedly suspect someone else may have contributed, assisted, or attempted to hide information earlier. This suspicion explains why certain details appeared hidden, altered, or inconsistent throughout the investigation. The belief that others may have been involved raises disturbing possibilities about coordination or collective knowledge. This idea is terrifying because it suggests the situation might be more organized than previously believed. This case is finally progressing, and the next update is coming soon. I also have a shocking update from the Diddy case that I will discuss in the next video. So, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and I'll keep you updated. See you in the next video.